Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, in this live, we'll be talking about life lessons from Coach Bam. So, people watching the live or the replay, feel free to comment down below if you could relate, if you feel like sharing something too. Maybe you also know my mentor, Coach Bam Santiago. Quick backstory: he passed away last year, February 28th, so it's 2023. Now, before the month ends, I just wanted to make this live in honor and memory of him because it's been a year since he passed away. Coach Bam was my mentor, and I first crossed paths with him in 2019. This notebook or journal is of my first Unbounded that I did with him back in September, I believe, or back in 2019. Wait, it's I got the date here. August 3, 2019. So it's a 2-day weekend workshop that I did with him, and that was my first encounter to him. Shout out and credit to Isis Umali, who invited me to that one, and it was life changing. So here today, I'll be sharing with you 5 life lessons. These are the best lessons that I learned from Coach Bam. And I want to just keep it to the point as possible. So it's easier for you guys to watch. Comment down below if you could relate or if you'd want to share your own life lessons you got from Coach Bam as well, just to in honor of him. So the very first life lesson I got from Coach Bam, and this one just came to me again, top of mind, top of heart. It was emotional processing. So emotional processing is my first lesson I got. Why? When I first attended my Unbounded seminar back in 2019, back then I started my personal development journey in 2018. So I got into T. Harvecker. I had also attended another local seminar or workshop, and I felt like it wasn't enough. Kulang pa, like make me cry more. Like there's something in me that needs to be processed or let out. And a year later from that time, that was ending of 2018, eventually I finally said yes to Coach Bam. So ISIS kept recommending him. And then I finally did it. And emotional processing, emotional healing, um, it was one of the best life lessons I got from Coach Bam. Up to this day, I still do it. So it's a continuous process, life lesson that I learned from Coach Bam. And I'll give credit to Coach Bam for that because I felt it when I attended the Unbounded seminar with him. And as you could see here, I even have my in memory name tag. This is actually my co facilitator ID because I went into a co-facilitator training program alongside Royce T back in 2022. So almost for the span of a whole year, we were training alongside Coach Bam. But after Unbounded, I continued on to level 2 training and I kept doing emotional processing and love it, life saving. Why was it so life saving for me? Again, I grew up very conservative background. I went to an all boys school for grade school and high school. So it's the span of like 12 years, I believe, like the whole K-12 or whatever system. And then it was only in college where I was exposed to co-ed later on. So guys and girls. Yet my conditioning was emotionally expressing yourself wasn't highly encouraged. And Coach Bam taught me that space for it. So the next best lesson, the next life lesson I got from Coach Bam, this one I'll call the buddy system. So why do I, for those who have attended an Unbounded or a seminar with Coach Bam, comment down below. Um, comment Coach Bam down below if you have attended a seminar with Coach Bam in the past years while he was still living. And You probably encountered this, the buddy system. So, what is this? As you go, so goes your buddy. So, in simple words, I'll explain it as it's like a higher level of accountability. And I love it because I continue to practice this even outside of the seminars of Coach Bam. And when we learn it, your body is your practice relationship. So the way I treat my body here is most likely the way I would treat other people. So if you don't believe, like, well, how can I still apply the body system? Just yesterday, I had a stress management workshop with a friend and also a collaborator of mine, Mark. So he's my ice bath teacher. And even though he may not know this, I was applying a lot of the body system there. So it's just making sure that, hey, if I'm doing the work, if my body is doing the work, I'm doing the work too. If I'm having fun, make sure your body is having fun too. If your body needs help, you help him or her. So I love that lesson, the body system. Last thing I would share in that is it's kind of like training for your future partner. Now, whoever that is, right? No judgments. Whether you choose to get married, whether you choose to have business partners, whether you choose to have a buddy in life who's a complete stranger, yet you treat each other on such a higher level. That's what I learned from Coach Bam. So the third life lesson I got from Coach Bam. So this one is called heart space, heart space versus head space. So what is heart space versus head space? Quick background, overthinker here. So everyone who's an overthinker, hashtag overthinkers in the house. So hey Tati, yes. So yeah, this is my name tag from Coach Bam. Just wearing it as a memory, also again to honor him. And then again, heart space versus head space. Going back to my third lesson, head space by default, I'm there. I'm in my head. I'm overthinking, right? So welcome everyone watching the live. AJ, enjoy this one. I just want to make this a quick one. Also, too, just 5 life lessons from Coach Bam. Welcome watching the live and those watching the replay. So headspace again, which I was getting into, is the thinking mind, logical, right? Sometimes falls into overthinking, sometimes falls into anxiety or fear in the future. If the past, maybe you call that depression, right? Rumination. Now, heart space is very different. And what I love about Coach Bam is when you attend a seminar with him, a workshop, or you just meet him in person back then, you feel it. Heart space is the way you feel, the way he treats you, the presence. And it's very hard to teach that. Again, coming from a very logical person. My background, INTJ, thinker, heart space felt so different and foreign to me. So I thank Coach Bam not just for teaching me the concept of heart space versus head space, but showing it every time we train. And just so you know, heart space doesn't mean that the person is perfect all the time. A lot of it was also vulnerability, showing our inner flaws, how fucked up both you and I are in this life. And it comes from a very pure or a very true place. And I love that. So that's heart space versus head space. The fourth life lesson I learned from Coach Bam was it's related to the love languages. Now, if you ever heard of the love languages from Dr. Gary Chapman, so when I took my Unbounded seminar, the workshop, the training, some of you know that. And instinctively, the way I understood it was okay, more awareness. Yeah, I know my love language is acts of service. That's how I operate. But I only came from one half of the awareness, which is the giving side, the mind-blowing lesson I got from Coach Bam, I'll credit him to, is he also pointed out the difference of giving, your love language of giving versus your love language of receiving. And sometimes it's the same. In my case, it was different. So my love language of giving is acts of service. My love language of receiving, can anyone guess? Super similar, right? Actually, it was completely unexpected for me. It was physical touch. So, from someone who keeps giving, that's so familiar, acts of service. Hello, MJ. Thank you for watching the live. So, again, sharing with you my life lessons from Coach Bam. And enjoy this live. So, I just want to wrap this one up too. Just get to the point and enjoy it. Watch the replay if you want to see the previous ones too. So this one on the love languages, as the fourth lesson I learned from life lesson I learned from Coach Pam, my receiving was different. And I had a very hard time understanding because I wasn't a good receiver. So physical touch also highlighted a very important life lesson I got. And he taught in relation to that, the love languages, how to hug. Now, those who have been through it, you know this. This is called the connected hug. The connected hug, I didn't even know how to hug a person growing up. I didn't. Now, maybe my buddy Royce, who knows this, and we would practice or demonstrate it, that was completely foreign to me. And I didn't know how to do it. Maybe you're a girl watching this, or someone with like really high EQ and grew up in a really good environment, and you're laughing. That's cool. But for me, it was a lifeline. It was a life lesson that I didn't know how to do. Why is that important? Out of the five love languages, if you don't get one of them, you can actually die. And that was physical touch. So, again, when I say die, some people will say, do you mean literally you get a heart attack, depression, like that? Maybe. But for those who have felt dead on the inside emotionally, now you're starting to get it. For those who have felt dead on the inside spiritually, now you're getting it. So I'll move on to the fifth life lesson I got from Coach Pam. So it's relating, totally unexpected, how to die. So when I was there last year, February 26, 2 days right before, I visited Coach Bam. He said, sent a text, please visit me. I visited him in Capital Medical Center, the hospital. So just the background so people understand. He just went through an angioplasty. They had to like get a vein from down to like the heart. He was in recovery. It was serious, but it looked like he was on the path to recovery already. Spent the day with him and Karen, his partner, just seeing him there recovering in the hospital bed, spending time. I was about to leave. I ended up staying there because I thought more visitors would come in and hey, my time is up. I ended up staying with him until around 10 or maybe 11 p.m. And I have no regrets because shortly after 2 days, he passed away and we didn't know. So why is how to die a lesson I got from Coach Bam? I did not understand it then in the moment, but now when I reflect on it and as I honor you, Coach Bam, the way you went out with grace, the words I know he was sharing, he said, Lord, if my time is up, then it's okay. But if not, there's still so many people to help. And I saw that and I felt that when I visited him. So, how to die, Coach Bam, maybe you did not plan that at all, but your final lesson to me was you showed me how to die, how to go out with grace, not in fear, not with attachment, not scared, but just with acceptance, with peace, and still going out the way you were. Because I know how Coach Bam is, and that's how he was. So until his very last moment. Now I'll give you a bonus for those who stayed and listened to the 5 life lessons I got from Coach Bam: emotional processing, the body system, heart space versus head space, love languages, the lesson on giving versus receiving, and how to die. So, my bonus for you guys who've stayed here is this bonus life lesson I got from Coach Bam is living in our higher self. And he was an example of that. Again, what I mean is, you're not some perfect, enlightened being all the time, just like me, right? But those moments of being in the higher self, when Coach Bam is in his heart space, when I was there in the hospital with him, all the way until his final moments, he was still living at a higher level, still trying to give, still trying to help, still living the mission, the higher purpose. And that reminder, whenever I remember and feel that, all the petty, lower self, ego thought bullshit goes away. Oh, are people talking behind my back? Is someone judging me? How about this? Right? How about my taxes? The BIR? All that goes away. Is this person angry at me? Do we have a misunderstanding? All that goes away when you're connected to that higher self. Also, bonus life lessons I got related to that are openness. Coach Bam was one of the most open people I met. I wish he was more open in public, but it's in the moments when I went into the seminar or behind the scenes, I started to see more, hear more, feel more. And I know, hey, people, there are people like this, that open in this world, and I love it. And we share that back, which leads to my last bonus life lesson, connected again to the higher self and openness, which is collaboration. Coach Bam was not selfish. So he was also looking for other people or open to other people and working with them. So it's not like here are all my, this is just my thing, just me, right? No one else can know my secrets like that. He wasn't like that. Just yesterday, when I was moving forward after Coach Bam passed away last year, I was still connected to Royce T, my co-facilitator buddy. And again, however, our life paths diverge or connect, I'm still connected with him. I would still help him. If he tells me, hey, Martin, no more, I would respect his decision too, because that's the way we're trained. Yesterday, I just collaborated with Mark, my ice bath teacher, and we did a stress management workshop in Batangas. Just today, I got good feedback from the client. Super thankful. That's how Coach Bam was. And he connected on a higher level. And he showed me proof that, hey, you could connect with a guy in Mind Valley, with Zeke. So, higher level stuff. He went to Mongolia, a different country, and he was helping even young ones there, the kids, the teenagers who had depression or were suicidal, because the culture in Mongolia is very different. He even went to other countries. I believe it was here in Southeast Asia. Just trying to remember top of mind. It was not limited just to the Philippines only. So he was opening and collaborating with different people. And I love that. And to his very last day, he was still living in his higher self. So, Coach Pam, that's my feedback for you up there. And I welcome anytime you whisper some word of wisdom, something from my heart. I welcome that to this day. So keep watching over us. Thank you. Before I end this live, I also just want to invite you. So I'll share my screen very, very, very quickly. And what I want to show you is this. So it is Thursday today. And This, pardon. So there you go, it's cleared us up. So this Saturday, I believe, March 2, yeah, there will be an event called Call to Inspire. And the two people running this, Chris Vinson, who I met in Iloilo, and he helped us with Coach Bam do unbounded seminars over there. Of course, this guy over here, Royce T, he was my co-facilitator in training. He actually piloted or pushed for that, I believe. He started that in January 2022. He encouraged Coach Bam to do that. I joined shortly after in April, start of April. I did 3 quarters training alongside him. And this event is all about reflecting on the life lessons and inspiring conversations of the late Edward Bam Santiago. So I call him Coach Bam. So this one you can just sign up in the link. You can just look for it. It's welcome to anyone on or off Facebook. Call to Inspire. If you are in Iloilo, I believe there will be a live location for this March 2, Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. I will be in Manila that time. For those who want to join online, this will be available on Zoom via registration link just below. So look for the event Call to Inspire, or just comment down below Call to Inspire, and I will happily share with you the link to it. And then you can join it this Saturday if you want to keep learning more about Coach Bam and this type of space, this culture, this environment. If you find it very healing, I'm just going to read some final comments here. Correct, Tati. Coach Bam is the reason we are connected, even in the first place. And then MJ2, thank you, Coach Bam. I met you, and then I met MJ2, right? Because the last thing we get here also is the community. We start meeting people who are also going through what we're going through, who feel certain things that in society, sadly, people do not admit and can't open up about. But because of Coach Bam, I found a space where people had the courage and the vulnerability to just let it out, to just share openly in a safe, non-violent, constructive place that we can do it together. So thank you. I love you, and I will see you next time.